We are exploring the balance of power that marginalization brings with it, and the way an artist's gaze can translate that sense of otherness into a sense of place. This sense of place can bring with it, if not power, at least security, which begins by engaging us in the conversations that the following images elicit. For much of Western history, men have controlled every aspect of women's lives. Beardsley's image of Salome explores the social perceptions of women as they expanded the sphere of their own power, the perception that female sexual autonomy is threatening, fulfilling the timeless femme fatale stereotype. In the same way one might examine an artifact from an exotic culture, Picasso paints prostitutes, a traditionally reviled profession, with a depth and multitude of perspectives that invites the contemplation of personhood.
You know, there's going to be this exhibition and so is going to be in it. And that was the name Pollock, and I said, where does he live? And I got an address and went up there.
And en route, you didn't even know what apartment he lived in?
Well, I got to the top floor, and someone was standing in the hall, and I asked, and they pointed to a door, and I knocked at the door. And
who was the someone in the hall?
Jackson's brother. Happened to be in the hallway, and I asked for Jackson Pollock, and he pointed to a door at one end of the hall, and knocked at the door and entered, introduced myself, and that was the beginning of our relationship.
As recently as 2008, Krasner was one of only 4 women who've had retrospectives at MoMA, New York. Rarely mentioned without a nod to her heroic gesture painter husband, this woman who seamlessly melded the life of an artist with the life of an artist partner continues to inspire painters and people today. Yoko Ono's most famous work has dealt with the consequences of voyeurism for both the viewer and the viewed, and was criticized for occurring on the coattails of her husband's fame. Cut Piece was staged before she met Lennon and deals directly with the social norm that the objectified must endure in silence. Objectification and commodification are classic partners. Andy Warhol speaks of this practice eloquently through a pair of lips recognized around the world. Demonstrating the impact of gaze, a woman's, an artist's, Sherman questions all of the assumptions inherent in the tropes our culture has created for female roles and lets us answer the question ourselves. The momentum, the progression, the reaching, the bright colors all suggest hope and change. There is a vividness of emotion as well as color, suggesting that both women and African Americans have found and are learning to use their own strong voice. That voice, however, must always be in conflict with the collective voice of the world at large, which encourages conformity to the dominant social paradigm. Not until a problem has been defined can a solution be found. By stating the demands of the dominant paradigm, one can begin to consciously subvert the expectations created therein. Initially referred to as a big black gash of shame by the very veterans it was created to honor, Lynn's Memorial has become one of the most visited sites on the National Mall, and as such, an illustration of the change that can be created through dialogue. Orlan makes people intensely uncomfortable by using her body as a canvas to comment on the standards and uses of female beauty throughout the centuries. Manipulating her features to resemble history's highest standards of beauty, in this case having her chin altered to resemble that of Botticelli's Venus, she calls out the fact that people's bodies have become their own performances. We feel that this is an important series of conversations to engage in, and hope that these images have left you with questions and on the path to forming your own answers.